Chicago, Illinois. Between 1830 and 1930, this city's population grew from 200 to over 3 million. And it was during this era that one of Chicago's great cultural institutions began to flourish: the Field Museum of Natural History. Its collection includes impressive dinosaur exhibits, nearly 500,000 bird specimens, and dozens of lifelike animal dioramas. But one display features what was once a mysterious beast.
The animal is in a sitting posture, about 2.5 feet high. Its fur is absolutely distinctive.
According to curator Dr. Lawrence Heaney, this is no ordinary panda.
This particular specimen is the result of one woman and a tragedy that started her off on the greatest adventure of her life.
Who brought this panda to America? And how did its discovery transform the understanding of the entire species? 1934, New York. Chain-smoking Ruth Harkness is a fashion designer and socialite in the city's party scene.
Ruth Harkness did not want to have an ordinary life. She was interested in new adventures.
She's found the perfect match in her husband, Bill, an intrepid explorer who is looking for his next expedition. That summer, a newspaper article catches his eye. It describes a rare and elusive creature, China's giant panda.
Pandas in particular at that time were extremely poorly known.
The article speculates about the animal's diet, habitat, and even its genetic family, all mysteries to biologists of the day.
There was one school of thought that they're essentially gigantic members of the raccoon family.
And the article states that zoos might pay handsomely for the first panda brought to America.
The first person who brought a live panda would potentially be able to sell it for $20,000 to $30,000.
Determined to capture the creature, Bill sets out for China, while Ruth stays behind in New York. But 13 months into the journey, Ruth receives some horrible news. Her husband has suddenly died from a fast-moving cancer.
She had absolutely no clue that he was in such poor health.
But then Ruth is dealt another blow. Bill's family has cut her out of the will. It seems that her days in New York's high society are over. But then she's struck by a notion. The cash reward from her husband's unfinished quest can still be obtained.
She decided, I'm going to go find a giant panda, bring it back, I will get the money, and I'm going to do this.
To the utter astonishment of the New York elite, Ruth heads off to Shanghai.
She'd never done anything like this before.
Using the last of her savings to secure a guide, she sets off up the Yangtze River towards Chengdu, where they will embark into the mountains.
This is really rugged. And for a New York socialite, it's astounding that she was able to do it at all.
But weeks into the trip, Ruth has yet to see even the slightest sign of a panda. So will this New York socialite successfully capture the elusive creature and claim her cash prize?
It's 1936, northern China. Down on her luck socialite, Ruth Harkness is on a quest to become the first Westerner to capture a live panda and snare a much-needed cash prize. So can Harkness locate the elusive animal and regain her fortune?
November 9th. Ruth and her guide are deep in the valley of Chaupo when they spot signs of jungle life, trampled grass, and broken bamboo.
They had found evidence that there was a den, and there was a baby panda.
2 years after her husband set out, Ruth has succeeded in his quest. But capturing a panda is one thing. Successfully transporting it back home is a completely different challenge.
She was absolutely determined to do everything that she could to keep that animal alive.
Harkness names the panda Su Lin and patiently teaches it to use a baby bottle. When the pair finally arrives back in America, Harkness expects the financial offers to come pouring in. But she is in for a shock. Zoologists are concerned they can't properly care for the exotic animal.
They were reluctant to give her a lot of money for an animal that they thought might not survive.
The best Ruth can do is send Sue Lin to the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago. She receives a paltry $2,000, a small fraction of the expedition's cost. On April 20th, 1937, Sue Lin finally goes on public exhibition. And while Ruth doesn't get the payout she hoped for, it soon becomes evident that her quest has enriched the country.
It clearly was a huge national sensation, with people taking trains to Chicago from all over the country to go see this animal.
She asks Brookfield Zoo officials to fund an expedition to bring back a second panda, and they agree.
Ruth had made herself into a successful adventurer, someone who was capable of bringing back animals that excited the public tremendously.
Sue Lin offers scientists at the Field Museum an opportunity to put to rest some of the mysteries that have persisted for so long.
The museum conducted a study that is still regarded as one of the finest studies of anatomy that's ever been done on any species.
They conclude that pandas are not raccoons, but bears, can live at low and high altitudes, and rely almost entirely on a diet of bamboo. And today, Sue Lin's taxidermied body is on display at the Field Museum of Natural History, a testament to one woman's determination to fulfill her husband's dream.